You're tuned in to Recap Station. Today we're going to talk about Naked Lunch. Directed by David Cronenberg, this surrealist sci-fi film is an adaptation of a novel by William S. Burroughs. It stars Peter Weller, Judy David, and Ian Holm. It was released in 1991, and received both critical acclaim and awards. And remember, spoilers ahead. Stay tuned. We hear background music with a black screen, on which certain sayings appear. It's 1959 in New York, and Bill Lee, an exterminator by profession, runs out of pesticide while doing his job. His running out of his powder is made fun of while he goes to a shop to buy new powder. The people at the shop warn him that he is using more than he needs. He discusses it with his friends. He thinks that his pesticide is being stolen by someone, and they try to convince him to change his profession and try writing some novels. He returns to his home to see his wife, Joan Lee, injecting a drug made by his insecticide into one of her breasts. He warns her that if he runs out of the chemical again, he will lose his job, but instead of listening to him, she offers him the same drug. Bill sits on the sofa, disappointed. It seems like both Bill and his wife had a dark past, but now Bill has left everything for his married life, and his wife doesn't seem to be like him. The next scene shows Bill sitting with some of his colleagues, who are discussing different pesticides to kill cockroaches and advising Bill to change the chemicals. When Bill is leaving, the scene shows some men follow him and take him with them. Bill is seen in an office sitting with two people interrogating him about the yellow powder he uses to kill pests. When they ask him to show them a demo that the powder actually works, they take a beetle out of the box and put it into the powder. The people leave the room, saying to Lee that they would be back after some time to see if powder works. As soon as the men leave the room, the beetle starts to speak to Lee, telling him that he has set up all of this to meet him alone. The beetle requests him to pour some of the yellow powder on its lips, and that he has a case. He is on a mission to kill the agent of Interzone Incorporated within a week, which is his wife. Thinking of the beetle as a lie, Bill smashes him with his boot. The beetle is torn into pieces, and Bill escapes the building by breaking the glass with the sole of the boot. Bill reaches his home and tells his wife about being busted for the powder, and that they have to leave the town for some days. Joan hands him over the powder in a small packet and asks him to rub some of it on her lips. Bill does as ordered, and both start kissing. Bill is seen in a railway trying to lift powder off one of his colleagues, Edward, while he is sleeping. But he fails, as his colleague wakes up and tells him about the addiction of his friend to this yellow powder used to kill pests, and Edward recommends him a doctor. Bill goes straight away to the doctor, who hands him another powder to get rid of addiction. Bill goes into a market and stops at a shop to see an insect called centipede. Bill returns home to see his wife, Joan, having sex with one of his writer friends, Hank. Hank leaves out of shyness, and Martin, the other friend, stays. Joan comes to Bill and asks him not to take it seriously. Bill replies in positivity and says he didn't mind. Bill opens up a drawer to take out a gun. Joan takes a glass and places it over her head. Bill, trying to shoot the glass, mistakenly shoots Joan. He leaves the house and goes to a bar where he meets an alien-like creature who tells him that he has accomplished his mission, and should go underground at the Interzone and write a report to Interzone about the accomplishment. Bill buys a typewriter and writes the report on all the events. Bill flees to an unknown city where he is writing the report in a public place, when a man meets him, mentions Dr. Benway, and tells Bill about black meat. They then both go to a place where black meat is prepared. Both men sit to taste some, and a boy hands over them a tray with black powder. Bill tastes some and closes his eyes. When he wakes up, he is in a room with his typewriter, which changes into a talking beetle and asks him to type some sentences. After writing the sentences, Bill leaves the room. Bill again meets the black meat guy in the same public place. The man asks Bill about Dr. Benway again, but Bill says he never met the man. Bill notices a couple and asks the man to fix a meeting with them. The couple are both writers, live in a good flat, and are pretty famous. He says he can't do so but calls a guy, Kiki, who he says can fix the meeting. Kiki tells them about a party where they could meet them. Kiki takes them to the party where he meets the woman who asks him why he has been here. Then he is in the company of an old man who discusses with him the typewriters. Then the man suddenly asks Bill if he has killed his wife. Bill tries to make it clear that it was an accident, but he counters, saying that there are no accidents. The man suddenly confesses that he has killed many of his wives slowly. Bill, amazed, asks him why he is telling him everything and gets the reply that it is not his control what he says. Bill notices his lips that they are not moving in accordance to the voice of the old man. Bill leaves the old man, and the party after, he says something about Bill's wife, Joan. Bill is seen coughing and sitting on sand, when a man comes to him named Cloquet. They both have breakfast together where Bill tells the guy a story of a friend Bobo who died in an accident with all of her guts outside. It was horrible, and he admits that he is a homosexual. At this point in the movie, it seems that Bill has realized what the Interzone wants from him, and has started to act like they want him to be. Bill sits in his room with typewriter in front of him, seeing the scars on his body due to the black meat, and then sees a centipede in his washroom. Bill leaves the house and goes to the hotel pub where he meets again the old man, Tom, and a young lady he met at the party. He asks them about Hans, the guy who took him to the meat factory, and comes to know that he has been deported. The old man asks him to give a try to the drug Hans produced, and that was why he was deported. The old man then suggests that he take the typewriter. Bill takes the typewriter and is seen writing some messages to his friends. He takes his black meat and starts coughing while going back to his bed. After some time he hears some screams, and when comes to see his typewriter is eating and breaking the typewriter of the old man, saying that he is an agent of Interzone. Bill goes to Tom's house and meets his wife, the young lady. He goes into the house and tells Tom's wife that he broke Tom's typewriter and requests her to write something on the Arabic typewriter. Bill tries to seduce her, and while writing both start to have sex, and the typewriter turns again into a beetle sort of structure. Suddenly the housekeeper comes and tells both of them that it is an evil thing to do, and that they should not have sex. Tom arrives home with another man who finds some packet in the flower pot in which the young lady's hair and nails were present. Bill and a young lady named Joan go out to take Tom's typewriter from Bill's place. They both on their way see an old woman cutting some sea creature. Joan stops there and starts kissing the old woman, Fadla. Bill continues and goes to his living place and starts writing a report about the black meat. Bill then applies some of the black meat on scars he has on his body, and comes back to the workplace to find his typewriter, Clark Nova, turned into a creature again. Clark Nova tells him that his marriage with Joan was a pre-planned thing and he was destined to kill her, so he should not feel guilty. Tom bursts in with a gun and a man with him. Tom inquires about his typewriter, which was broken by Bill's typewriter. Tom finds out that his typewriter is broken and takes Bill's typewriter. Bill is hallucinating again. Bill packs up the remains of the typewriter, goes to the beach and sleeps on the sand. His friends Hank and Martin show up and tell him that they are there for help. They ask him about his book Naked Lunch, and Bill seems totally unfamiliar. When they try to help him remember by reading him some pages of his book, Bill still doesn't remember anything. Hank and Martin ask Bill to leave with them, but he refuses and asks them that he will be fine at the Interzone. He comes back and sits in the street and starts weeping. Kiki comes to him and inquires why he is weeping. Kiki takes Bill to the shop where broken things are fixed. His typewriter is fixed there and comes back home to write the report again. His typewriter again turns into a creature who tells him some new mission to work on which is related to Cloquet. Bill asks Kiki about the man and he tells him that he has a wonderful car. Cloquet, Bill and Kiki are seen in a car riding where Bill tells them a story of an accident. They reach Cloquet's house and Bill asks Cloquet about Dr. Benway. Cloquet wants to take Kiki for some time in return for telling Bill about Dr. Benway, and tells Bill that Fadla is a friend of Dr. Benway. Kiki goes with Cloquet. Bill goes to some other room. When Bill comes back he sees Cloquet turned into a giant centipede and Kiki in front of him. It seems that Cloquet has killed Kiki. Bill comes back and packs the typewriter in a case and goes to Tom to take Clark Nova back and give this typewriter in return. The exchange is successful and Bill comes out of Tom's residence to open the bag in which Clark Nova sits. He finds out that they have tortured Clark Nova and he will die soon. Clark Nova tells him that Fadla is in the meat factory and Bill must catch her to penetrate in Interzone. Bill also asks him about Joan, but Clark Nova doesn't answer and dies. Bill is hallucinating all of this time thinking Clark Nova is talking to him. Bill comes to a place where a lot of those creatures he sees while hallucinating are hanging. Then he sees Joan and Fadla. When Fadla is gone Bill goes to Joan. Suddenly Fadla comes over and asks Bill about him being here. Bill asks him about Dr. Benway and Fadla opens up her shirt to reveal her boobs and then opens the skin to reveal an old man, Dr. Benway. Surprisingly, he is the same Dr. Bill met in America for the cure of his wife. Dr. Benway asks him why he is here, and Bill says he needs to take Joan with him. Bill is seen driving a different van sort of vehicle when he stops at a checkpost, and the officer asks him to prove whether he is a writer or not. He wakes up Joan and asks her to show their practice. She places a glass on her head and Bill shorts the glass and accidentally kills Joan. Joan the wife of Bill and Joan the wife of Tom are basically the same. The officer says to Bill after he has shot his wife, "Welcome to Annexia."